Owner operator or work for somebody else? That is the question. What should you do and what's better for you to do? And the answer is different for everybody depending on where you're at in your trucking, well, I wouldn't say career, but in your trucking path. What's your knowledge, what you know, and what you don't know about it. Sometimes it's better to work for somebody else, just like any other business, and learn what it takes. And sometimes it's better to work on your own because then you have different set of opportunities. Now, a lot of people get really confused with driving a truck for somebody else. It's the same as setting up a company just by, getting like a compliance lady or getting like an insurance guy, and then you just go on the load boards and you start booking loads on your own. And this is what gets most of the new ventures to fail. So here is the thing. Trucking, just like any other business, the most important thing you have to consider is where the money is gonna come from, your top line. So knowing that, you can start planning everything down from there. So maybe you're working for like a company as an owner operator, and they have their connections with brokers, and they have their logistics taken care of, dispatching and all that. And you're like, wow, that's amazing. Look, I'm here like driving all the time, and these guys are making like 250 per mile, and they're only giving me 65 cents or 60 cents, and they're just like collecting the rest. Well, obviously nobody's like that naive. Everybody knows that there is diesel to it, there is insurance, there are like toll fees, etc., etc. But now nobody really realizes how many expenses there are. Even if you realize the expenses, that's not the biggest problem. You have to really have a good understanding of what it takes to have good and consistent loads. And what it takes is just like any other business. You have to prove yourself in the industry. You have to build those connections. You need to show that you show up on time and you deliver the freight, and brokers and shippers and receivers wouldn't have any problems with your company. This is what it takes. And this is basically trust and reputation. And just like everything else in this world, trust and reputation, it takes time for people to know you, to trust you, and to decide to work with you and give you the loads. And this is how those mega carriers work, the ones we all know: Shift, Schneider, all these guys. That's how they work, right? They don't work off load boards. They work with contracts, right? But they work with contracts because they have a proven system that has proven to those shippers that their cargo is going to get moved, and it's going to be taken care of. If something goes wrong, those mega carriers will figure out a way to fix the situation. So because you're a new carrier, if you start as a new carrier, you don't have that reputation. You have to build it, and to build it, it's gonna take time, and it's gonna take money, and it's gonna take months of having no loads or low paying loads. So here comes the question: can you afford to endure that time? Now there are ways, right, to season your company, to show to carriers that cheap ways, by the way, um, to show the brokers that you've been in business for a little bit of time, and that helps to an extent. That definitely helps, but that is just one thing of everything you have to consider before hauling for yourself. I'm not trying to discourage you to do this, right? I'm a small business owner myself, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Quite the opposite. I want you to win. I want you to be successful, um, and that's another reason I'm making those videos, to give you the insight and the knowledge I've learned in this industry through the years, and through working with like literally like close to 10 close to 1,000 carriers at this point, on all kinds of situations, and and the ones that are successful through my experience. First of all, most of the ones that are successful have semi trucks, you know, um, and of course the reason being is with semi truck you have much more capacity. You can take on a lot more cargo, and the loads are better paying. The availability for loads are better paying. And the other thing is people that have semi trucks, right? Those are like professional CDL drivers, and they got in the profession as a truck driver, and in this business as a professional. Unlike people that, inspiring entrepreneurs, nothing wrong with that, right? But you have like your regular C or whatever your state regular licenses, and you buy a box truck, or you rent a box truck and you want to make money. It's tough, you're just testing the water. You're hoping these people, if you get a CDL, you're not really testing the water. You definitely, you're spending money to go to commercial trucking school. You're taking this like as a profession. You're not taking this as just let me give it a shot, because those schools are not cheap. And also, most of them, before they even start a trucking company, they work for somebody else. So most of these people, they have at least some type of understanding for the business. Unless, like people that jump with, no offense to you guys, but I see some people have no idea about trucking. They have no idea about the industry. They don't know anything about it. They just heard of somebody, or somebody told them, say, hey, just rent a box truck or buy a box truck and put a driver in it, and it's gonna make you're gonna make money. Although that it's possible, the chances are slim to none, right? If you just simply do this. And again, it's because of all the other reasons I just told you. So again, the most important thing is to have a really good plan where the money is gonna come from. So how do you start planning on this? First of all, you have to decide what type of cargo you're gonna haul, what type of operation. Are you gonna be hauling general freight? Are you gonna focus on the reefer side of things? Are you gonna be a car hauler? Are you gonna shoot for hazmat? Hazmat, it's pretty much impossible, to be honest with you. Nobody will even insure you as a new venture as a hazmat. So, but let's say you decide one of the other three. Okay, you decide on, let's say, general freight, like most people do. Who are gonna be your brokers? Are you gonna go through load boards? What you gonna be doing once you get situated with that? So, and then if you're like, okay, I'll have those. I'll go with the load boards. have you been on a load board before you even start setting up this company? I mean, you have to ask yourself these questions. Like, before I even start a company, isn't it a good idea to, get an access to a load board and see what's even out there before I even take the step of like registering a company? I mean, if you're gonna be counting that you're gonna make money and you're gonna book loads from a load board, you have to see those load boards first of all, right? Do your research, because the worst thing you can do is do things backwards. You buy a truck, you don't know what to do with this truck, or you start setting up a company and you don't know what this company is going to be doing. Then you start looking for loads, or because you need loads, you need to do something to get revenue. But you have no idea where those loads are going to come from. You haven't even seen a load board in your life. So just do yourself a favor. Look first thing, look where your loads are coming from, and then do the simple math, right? If you're, let's say, you're a box truck, right? You're a box truck, and you look at the load board, and you're looking like at few loads or bunch of loads that average $1.20 a mile. Just do the math. Is this like, okay? That's what it is. I mean, that's the reality. Whether you like it, I like it, you don't like it doesn't matter. I mean, if that's the reality, it's $1.20 a mile. You don't even have to look at the load board. You can even do like some research. But load board is really, if that's where you're gonna be getting the loads, check it out and be like, okay, $1.20 a mile. Is this gonna be enough for me to cover my gas, like my diesel? Is it gonna be enough for me to, if I'm financing the truck, to make the payments on the truck? Is it gonna be enough for me to pay for the insurance? Is it gonna be enough for me to like pay myself some type of a salary to cover my expenses for me and for my family? So those are the first things you need to do before you even like look into buying a truck, or registering a company, right? And then if things like make sense to you, or you have somebody that will be providing loads, although you have to be careful with that too. I set up myself a trucking company with somebody telling me how I'm going to have the loads, and I bought 3 trucks and things went downhill, and I lost over 30K that way. So I'm telling you all these things from experience. I've not maybe I haven't maybe done it all in this industry, but I've done a lot more than 99.9% out there have done. So that's what I'm telling you. It's very easy to lose your shirt if you're not really careful. So also, if you decide to finance like a box truck or a semi truck, that loan, it's gonna be there. And then even if you find out that things are not making sense for you, you might, just like many other people, unfortunately, you have to keep spinning the wheels on that truck just to keep covering that loan. Now, you might just be like, all right, I'm done with it, and let the bank take it. That's one sure way for you to dig yourself into a big hole with like having like a bad credit. And just so you guys understand, I see how many people don't realize that. And it's been true forever in everything in the States. I'm an immigrant in this country, and I learned it the hard way. Credit, it's everything. I mean, it's everything. Meaning, like, that will make the difference between you getting a good percentage interest rate on your house, on your car, on your semi truck, box truck, on your insurance, on your credit card. And the last thing you want to do is like spend a bunch of money feeding the bank with interest rates. I mean, if you put yourself in this position, rest assured you're gonna work for the bank, whether it's gonna be through the insurance company, through the finance company, through your credit card, or whatever you're doing. You're gonna keep feeding the banks. So make sure that your credit it's as close to perfect as possible, because this is the only way you're not gonna waste extra money on interest rates or expensive insurance or and all that for your trucking company. So in summary, I'll continue in the next video. We can keep discussing these things, and maybe at some point I'll do some lives. But in summary, the most important thing, if you have to take one thing away, it's from this video, it's figure out who is going to be your customer and or customers, and how much revenue can you generate realistically, and start from there. You have to find out first that where the money will come from before you start setting up any type of companies, before you start buying any type of trucks, looking into drivers. Find out where your money will be coming from. Is it realistic with this revenue that you're expecting to come from these customers to cover and sustain a business? And if it's not, then you have to keep researching till you get to the point that numbers start adding up before you start buying anything physical and start spending money on compliance, setting up FMCSA authority and all that stuff. I mean, just in this video, guys, if you listen to this carefully and you do what I just told you, you're literally gonna save yourself like thousands, tens of thousands of dollars. I mean, it's very basic, it's very simple. Just follow it and don't dig yourself into the hole for no reason. You want to make money, you don't want to like lose your shirt. See you in the next video, and then we'll talk some strategies how you can set things up so you can make money in this industry. Talk to you later, guys.